Okay, how to clean the Raze buggy after it's being run, part 2. And about every 5 or 6 runs, you take this outside off and see the blue. The blue is my air filter oil that I put on there. And about every 5 or 6 runs, you take your foam rubber off. The best thing to wash them with is Dawn dishwashing liquid. You know, just squish it in there, squish, and wash them, 3 or 4 minutes, and then rinse it all out. Okay. But you take this off, and then you spray into, if you'll look right here, come right here, honey, and take a picture right here. See, here's the carburetor. And right now it's closed, but you make sure it's open, in an open position like that right there. And then just one little squirt is all it needs. And you can work that back and forth, same difference. And then again, I'll leave that shut. And don't forget to put your air filter back on there. Like so. Now there's a lot of different ways how you can prime these things. They say that you can put your finger over the muffler and pull there a few times until you see the fuel come up into your hose and down in here to your carburetor. You can do that, that's fine. It won't hurt nothing. But the way I prefer is you take the fuel line loose here from your muffler, and then you can just blow into the fuel line, and you can watch your fuel coming through here and come down there. That's the quickest way that you can do that, and in a way that you can really control where that fuel goes to. But as you said, once you do that, then the next thing that would be left is to go over the buggy and make sure that everything is tight, that nothing has loosened, because it will vibrate loose as it's running. So you check all your wheels, tighten them up. You don't want to over tighten them, just snug them up. And then check this here. Make sure that you can not see anything that's loosening up, because it needs to be tight. And then if anything's loosened up, then tighten it up. I have a little electric screwdriver that has positions in it, ratchet positions in it, and I set mine to bottom position. And I go through after I run it, whether it looks like it's loose or not, I go through and tighten up everything to make sure that it's tight. And then on your antenna, what I have done, and you can do this too because this is very inexpensive, like for an antenna cap, I have some colored fuel line. And you just cut your little piece off of the fuel line, like Lady Messenger done here, and add it there. And that's very cheap compared to buying a fuel cap. And like everybody says, not a fuel cap, but antenna cap. Like everybody says, and you've always heard, first thing that you do when you get ready to run them, you should cut your radio on first. And that's so that on a car it wouldn't make much difference, because if your motor is off, if you cut your car on first, as long as your motor's not on, it's not going to make no difference. But then you cut that on, and of course then before you run it, you make sure everything is going to work. And like you've seen this, I'll show you this. This is a brake check, and sometimes if you don't do this, you won't have brakes, because I have been out there running these cars and been to where the brakes just about didn't work. So always do this. But turn everything on. You really don't have to raise your antenna if you're going to be in close proximity to your car. But you push it, and then push that forward and make sure it's going to stop. Make sure, of course, if your car is going to roll, and you see it stops. And if for some reason it didn't stop, then that means your brakes need to be adjusted. And on the Raze, which is what this is, if you'll zoom in right here, honey, both of these here, this and this, are your brakes, your front brakes and your back brakes. The brakes are right here and right here. A lot of videos don't show you where the brakes are, especially on a Raze, but they're here and here. But these little caps here, you can just loosen them and slide them in just a little bit, and that'll tighten your brakes. If it's too tight, you loosen them and slide this back just a little bit, and that changes how your brakes are. If this don't work, that means that your brakes are getting too worn. And here, and the next thing you do would be either tighten them here and here on both sides, here and here, and you can tighten those down till it gets next to nothing. And then right here, I don't know if you can see this or not, maybe you can zoom this in enough, but right here where my screwdriver is where the brakes are, in between these two pieces of metal. But you can get that almost down to nothing, then you can replace those. Actually, a buggy's real easy to work on. You might be intimidated and think that it's hard to work on when you first get it, but really it's easy. I'll put this on YouTube now. Like I said, I'm Messenger, and we'll have more videos as it comes of different things that you can do to the buggy, different things that you can repair, maybe the shocks, taking the tires off, taking the motor out, etc., etc., as well as running them. I'll show you. This is the Raze. Okay, I have 4 buggies. Here's the rest of my buggies. Here. And you can see this is my work table. I've got everything everywhere. That was the Raze. This buggy here is Show, called Show, and it has a size 21 motor, whereas the Raze has a .27. This car here is a bit more expensive than the Raze. This one here was $300 and the Raze is $250. But the main reason that is because this Show, right here, all these parts here, there's carbon fiber, and there's more of the carbon fiber parts than what there were in the Raze. So because of this, heavier duty, and the shocks are probably about the same, it makes this one just a little bit more expensive. The carbon fiber is more expensive anyway. And I really thought that the Raze buggy would outrun this one, but that's not the case. Raze buggy has, as I said, a .27 motor, and this one has a .21 motor, and that's why I thought that the Raze would outrun this one. And it's not the case. That's how come the little messenger's always bragging, hey, the Show does better than the Raze, because it really does. Shh. Don't tell him I said that. Thank you very much. Be sure you tune in again, watch our videos, and rate them, and let us know if we're doing an okay job or not, and what we need to do different. Thank you very much for watching.